Welcome to the CUNY Teacher Education webinar series. Today's webinar will present a 6-week study plan that you can use to prepare for the Educating All Students test. All of the resources that you need to follow this study plan can be found in the CUNY Teacher Education Blackboard group. The Blackboard group is free and available to all CUNY faculty and students. In the group, you'll find resources to help you prepare for the EAS, as well as additional teacher education-related resources. To join the group, you'll follow the instructions on the screen. These instructions can also be found by going to the CUNY Teacher Education website, cuny.edu/teachereds, the URL that is listed at the bottom of this slide. Once you log into the Blackboard group, you'll see this homepage. To access resources for the EAS, you'll need to click on the link on the left-hand side of the screen. Once you click on the EAS folder, you'll find a variety of resources to help you prepare. You can open the 6-week study plan by clicking on the first link shown here. The study plan gives you a week-by-week approach to using the resources in the Blackboard group. Under the title of each resource, there's a path written in parentheses that shows you how to locate it. For example, if you want to find the EAS test design and framework listed at the bottom of the screen, you would follow the path by going first to the EAS page in Blackboard, and then down to the second item posted. The EAS is a test of pedagogy. It's a complex text, so you'll want to take the time preparing for it before you register. Here we're going to outline a 6-week study plan using the resources available in Blackboard to help you prepare. The EAS measures your knowledge of working with different student populations and supporting students to be successful and meet academic goals. This is a challenging test. Many people need to take it more than once before they're successful. There's also a cost of $102 to register for the test. You'll want to take the time to study for the test before you register. We are recommending a 6-week study plan, but once you start preparing for the test, you may find that you want additional time or support to help you prepare. For that reason, we recommend starting the study plan before you pay the fee. Students who already took the test reported that planning their time, studying specific pedagogical terminology, and practicing the written response items were helpful strategies for preparing for the test. Those are some of the areas that we focus on in this study plan. To begin, you'll want to get a sense of what the exam will be like. This includes knowing what the content will be, what the test will look like, and some basic study strategies to help you prepare. By the end of this first week, you should understand what this test will be about, the kinds of questions that you can expect to see, how many questions you'll have to answer on the total test, and how long you will have for the testing time. To help you better understand the test and answer these questions, you'll want to start by reviewing the following resources. The test design and framework covers the content of the test, as well as the test format, testing time, and scoring breakdown. The webinar gives you an overview of the exam, as well as some test-taking strategies and study tips. It's only 13 minutes long and is a great way to get an overall picture of the exam. The Hunter College strategies give more detail about the exam content, as well as more information on how to prepare for and approach the test. Once you have a sense of what the test is like, the next step is to take the time to understand the content of the exam. The EAS links most questions to case study-like scenarios, where you read a description of a class and are presented with lesson plans and student data before you answer questions. The preparation guides include sample questions so you can get a sense of what to expect in the case studies. The format of this test may be different from other computer-based or paper and pencil-based tests that you've taken before, so it really is helpful to take a look at the sample questions to get a sense of what this test is going to look like when you go in to take the exam. You'll also see that there are similarities between all of the written response questions, a focus on identifying student needs and strategies to supporting students. Becoming familiar with the format and how responses will be scored can help you plan out how you will approach your own writing. The EAS has many specific terms and concepts that you'll need to know before you take the exam. The sample study guide gives you a possible approach for recording and reviewing key ideas and vocabulary that you need to study. There's also a glossary that can help you define unfamiliar terms. As you go through the next few weeks of the study plan, you can fill in your study guide a little more each week. By the end of this week and before you move forward, you should understand what the short answer questions are going to be like, the rubric for scoring your short answer responses, and a general format that your short answer question response should follow. You also should have a sense of what the question format is going to look like and the kinds of content that you can expect to see as you go through the test. Once you have this information, you're ready to go on and start reviewing the specific content of the exam. The test is divided into 5 content areas, each with specific vocabulary, teaching strategies, and skills that you should be familiar with. You'll want to spend time with each content area, reviewing the terms that you'll likely need to know and the kinds of strategies for supporting students that you'll likely be asked about. For each section of the test, you'll find an online module that includes readings and practice questions to help you study. There are also sample case studies and questions that will help you review key concepts and point out important details that you may want to include in your written responses. You'll want to take the time to review each of the 5 areas before you consider registering for and taking the test. 3 of the 5 areas, diverse student populations, English language learners, and students with disabilities, make up larger sections of the test, so we recommend spending at least 1 week reviewing the content on each of these areas. Your final week can be spent reviewing the 2 final sections of the test, teacher responsibilities and school-home relationships. Once you come to the end of the study plan, you'll want to think about whether or not you feel prepared to register for the test. If you'd like additional practice, Brooklyn College has created sample case studies and practice questions that you can use. There's also a full-length practice test that you can buy for $29.95. This test is created by Pearson, the maker of the EAS, and built in the computer-based platform that the actual exam will be given on. It's a full-length test and can be a great way to check whether or not you're ready to take the actual exam. At the end of the practice test, you'll receive a score on the multiple choice section, as well as sample written responses that you can compare to your own writing to see how you did. In addition to the resources that we lay out in our study guide, we recommend spending some time getting to know the computer-based platform that these tests are given in. There's a computer-based testing section of the Blackboard group that will take you through the new testing features. There's also a free tutorial that goes over the basics of what to expect in a computer-based test. We also recommend talking to faculty at your school to see what other resources are offered. Many schools have workshops and other online resources available to help you prepare for this test. Thank you for joining today's webinar. This webinar is archived at our Teacher Education Student Resource page. You can also email any follow-up questions to us at teacher.education@cuny.edu. Best of luck with your exam preparation.